Karen keeps smashing my mailbox on the ranch, didn't know it's wired with motion alarms. The sun hung low over the sprawling Wyoming ranch, painting the horizon in hues of amber and regret. My mailbox, a sturdy metal sentinel at the edge of my property, had stood for decades until Karen moved into the old Miller place across the road. Karen, with her pristine SUV and manicured nails, seemed out of place in this rugged land of grit and resilience. But it wasn't her city airs that bothered me. It was the crowbar she wielded, smashing my mailbox to splinters every week for reasons I couldn't fathom. At first, I thought it was kids, maybe bored teens from town. I'd replace the mailbox, weld it stronger, only to find it shattered again by Sunday. Then I installed motion alarms, a cheap security system with a blinking red light that screamed trouble. The first night it went off, I grabbed my flashlight and stormed out, expecting a raccoon or a stray dog. Instead, I found Karen, her face twisted in rage, swinging that crowbar like it was her life's mission. "Why?" I shouted, my voice cracking in the cold night air. She froze, eyes wild, and spat. "You know why, Tom?" "You know." I didn't. I'd barely spoken to her since she arrived 6 months ago, her moving van kicking up dust that settled on my porch. She'd glare at me from her yard, muttering about land disputes and old grudges. But I chalked it up to her being unhinged. My ranch, passed down through 3 generations, wasn't part of any feud I knew. Yet, every week, the alarms blared, and there she was, destroying my mailbox like it was personal. The tension built like a storm. Neighbors whispered. Old man Jenkins, who ran the feed store, said Karen had been asking about my land's history, digging into records at the county office. I confronted her one evening, the air thick with the scent of sagebrush. "Karen, what's your problem?" "This is my home." Her lips curled into a sneer. "Your home? This land was stolen, Tom. My family's blood is in that soil." Her words hit like a punch, but I had no clue what she meant. My great-grandfather bought this ranch fair and square in 1920, or so I thought. The twist came when Ellie, the town librarian and a quiet friend of mine, showed up at my door one night, clutching a faded journal. She'd found it in the archives, a record from 1918. "Tom, you need to see this," she said, her voice trembling. The journal belonged to a man named Amos Miller, Karen's great-grandfather. It detailed how my great-grandfather, desperate for land, had swindled Amos out of his claim during a brutal winter. Amos's family was left penniless, and his daughter Karen's grandmother never recovered from the loss. Karen wasn't just angry. She was avenging a century-old wound. I felt sick. My family's legacy, the pride I'd carried, was built on a lie. But Karen's vengeance wasn't justice, it was chaos. She didn't want talk. She wanted destruction. The next night, the alarms screamed again. I ran out, heart pounding, and found her smashing the mailbox, tears streaming down her face. "You can't erase the past," she screamed. I grabbed the crowbar, not to hurt her but to stop her. We stood there, panting, the weight of history crushing us both. Then came the final blow. Jenkins, who'd been watching from his porch, called the sheriff. Karen's rage had spiraled, started vandalizing other properties, convinced the whole town was complicit in her family's ruin. The sheriff arrested her, but not before she turned to me, her voice low and broken. "You'll never know peace, Tom. Not on this land." Her words haunted me as the patrol car's lights faded into the night. I rebuilt the mailbox, but it felt hollow. The ranch, once my sanctuary, now carried the ghosts of Amos Miller's loss. I visited Ellie, who helped me draft a letter to Karen in jail, offering to share the land's profits as restitution. She never replied. The town moved on, but the silence between my ranch and the Miller place grew heavier, a reminder of wounds unhealed. The bitter truth settled in. No one wins in a feud fueled by pain. Karen's rage, my ignorance, and a century-old betrayal had torn us apart. I walk past that mailbox every day, its new paint mocking the scars beneath. Sometimes, I hear the motion alarm's faint beep in my dreams, a warning that some debts can never be settled. What would you do if you discovered your home was built on someone else's loss? Share your thoughts on justice, vengeance, and healing old wounds.